Hi guys, let's take a look at the legend character Green Lantern, aka Hal Jordan. Usually I'll refer to him as Green Lantern because to me he's the more or less the real Green Lantern, quote unquote. Even though Alan Scott was there first, and later on the other Green Lanterns pretty much ended up being referred to by their actual name as opposed to being referred as Green Lantern. John Stewart was always pretty much referred as John Stewart. Kyle Rayner was pretty much always referred to as Kyle Rayner. Guy Gardner, same thing. So the only Hal Jordan, especially when he started, was referred to really as a Green Lantern. Again, unless you count Alan Scott, but that was like in the 40s. So anyway, so let's take a quick look at our friend Green Lantern. So essentially, he's going to have a essential pretty typical Green Lantern powers. There's the boxing gloves. There's the force of will. There's the fusion blast. The strafing jet. Love the strafing jet. There's a light cage. The swoop attack. Again, swoop attack. Yeah, all the flyers have that. The sorter cola and the breakout. So let's get started. So essentially the boxing gloves, they work pretty much the same thing, the same way that they work normally. So there's no real combo. I just use the range attack at the end of the boxing gloves. Essentially, let's see if we. I'm pretty sure there's no combo, but let's make sure. You just pummel your enemies, cause damage, knock them back. Not really. So there's no combos for the legend characters, which is okay, I guess. So as you can see, essentially it's similar to the ram attack, but you have that like lantern symbol instead, which is kind of neat. You can see the enemies being thrown on the ground when I use this ability, although in game when I actually use it, it rarely does that. It does that once in a blue moon, but usually it doesn't have that big of an effect. And the next one, essentially you sort of twirl around on yourself, and if there's enemies around you, let's see what it does. So essentially it's a nice, pretty sure it's a breakout move, and also it's a bit of a crowd control where it'll crowd control a bit the people around you, the enemies around you. It should be knock them down. It should knock them down, and obviously we saw a typo. Knock down, not quite like that. So as you can see, if it when it works, it really works, but it doesn't always work like that. The next one is the strafing jet, which is all kinds of awesome. As you can see, it's a pretty neat ability. I really love it. It stuns your enemies, it does some damage, and it does a bit of damage over time as well. It's a pretty neat one. Of course, there's the oh, it didn't work. Let's try it on our little fellow over here. And this one puts your enemy in a cage. So again, it doesn't always work like that, and especially in Legend PvE on bosses, I don't recall seeing a single boss being able to be put in a cage like that. And also, there's the mighty swift attack. So again, it's pretty standard. Pretty much all the flyers, or at least most of the flyers, have that attack. So, and there's a one thing also I will mention is that usually one thing that I really enjoyed using this character when it first was released, and one of the good strategies or combos, so to speak. I'm not sure if it's still true because I didn't do much PvP lately, and especially not with Green Lantern. But what I would do is that I would essentially trap an enemy in a cage, and then I would do a what would you call that? A block breaker. The reason for that is pretty simple. Is that when the enemy would get trapped in a cage, as you saw, he would break out. But very often, especially on PS3, if you just normally you were supposed to be able to break out just tapping the R button. The problem is that with latency and lag and all that good stuff, very often just tapping the button once wouldn't do anything. So sometimes on PS3, especially on PS3, you had to actually hold the R1 button in order to be able to break out. And of course, as you were holding the button, you would block. You would end up blocking. So what you would do is what I would do as a Green Lantern is that I would lock our friend in a cage, and then I would. I'm not sure why my block break doesn't work. There we go. So I would lock our friends in a cage, and I would block break them quite simply. I'm not sure why it doesn't seem to be working properly. Something is fishy, but anyway. And the same for the strafing run. Essentially, as you saw, our little friend to the left did break out. And again, often people, in order to be able to break out, they couldn't just tap the R1 button once. Sometimes you had to hold it, and you would hold it a quarter of a second too long, which would allow your enemies to 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 break you to block break you. So that's pretty much it for the powers. So let's take a quick look at the combos. From what I recall, essentially it uses the pretty much the standard Browning combos. So let's go for the hold square, which is pretty standard. Again, it's the lunge attack that pretty much most of the characters have, and most of the weapons. So the next one is the double fist, tap and hold. So tap and hold, tap and hold. Again, you can see it pretty much hits everyone in front of your character. There's the ground pound, hold. So hold and hold. Again, it pretty much affects everyone pretty much in front of your character or even around your character. Then there's the hammer fist, tap and hold. Of course, if we hold one more, we can go into the other combo, which was the punt, which I personally I don't like, but some people seems to like it. There's the back fist, tap, hold, and hold. And there's the launching uppercut, 3 tap, 1 hold. So tap, 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 and hold. Tap, 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 and hold. Pretty simple. And the next one is 3 tap, 2 hold. It's the haymaker. So 1, 2, 3, hold and hold. 1, 2, 3, hold and hold. 1, 2, 3, hold and hold. So again, you can see a lot of abilities are being repeated from character to character. Yeah, it's supposed to be my block breaker, but oh well. So again, the strategy was pretty simple. You trap the guy in a cage, and you block break him. You block break him. You spam block break him, and when he tried to break out, essentially you block break him. So and the same with the strafing jet. Again, as the guy is trying to break out or get back up, again you block break him. It was a pretty cheesy tactic, I guess, but I much preferred that than to some of the strategies, quote unquote, was to essentially one of the strategy in PvP that you will see often, whether in the open world or even in certain maps, is people will go right above your character and essentially they'll beat the snot out of you from up here. And when you're down here, trying to target someone right above you is sometimes a tricky thing. And that's pretty much it with our friend Green Lantern. So that's it for now, guys. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.